Behind the Badge, Illinois, giving you the inside scoop on public safety and those who protect and serve. Your real stories directly from law enforcement experts, and get a chance to ask questions about issues you've always wanted to know more about. You have the right to remain informed. This is Behind the Badge, Illinois.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Behind the Badge, Illinois. It's the end of May already, and we decided to do a grab bag. We've got Chief Brugman down in O'Fallon. We got Chief Bird up in DeKalb. We got AJ from the ILACP and Chief Jogman in Highland Park. The Behind the Badge, Illinois, sponsored by Team Hochberg. If you're looking to purchase a new home, refinance your existing home, give me a call. We provide substantial discounts to all first responders and their family members, like Lou's daughter right now, who is in the process of purchasing a home. We are waiving all of our processing fees and save a substantial amount of money. So we are going to do a mailbag. We've been receiving a lot of emails. I'm looking at my phone because we've got a ton of emails from our listeners with questions for the Chiefs regarding different topics, from panhandling to why can't you shoot somebody in the leg, and other different types of questions from our listeners. So let's jump right into it, guys and gals. All right, so this just happened to me a couple of weeks ago. Okay, the question is, why do some officers put their lights on to go through a red light and then turn them off again? And I'll just give you my scenario, and then you guys could answer it. I'll throw it out to the panel here. I'm coming up to a stoplight. Stoplight's going yellow, and then it's going red. All of a sudden, at a no place about 50 yards behind me, lights go on. I got the rollers going. I got the white light going that's activating the traffic light. The siren's going. Everybody pulls off to the side. Cop goes through the red light, slows down before he goes there to make sure he doesn't T-bone or before they don't T-bone anybody. Police car goes about another 75 yards, 100 yards, turns the light off. Okay, and now, the light's red, and we're all sitting there, and of course, everybody got over to the right. So what's happening in that type of situation? We'll start with Chief Bird, and we'll go around. Go ahead, Dave.
You should start with them, because we're in Southern Illinois. We don't have traffic lights down here. Those things
you don't have the sensors that turn the lights to.
We don't even have traffic lights. We're just farms. Isn't that right?
That's what I hear. That's what I hear.
You guys take care of this one. I'll set this one out.
Hey, Chief Brooker, are you sure? We can stop at the boulder if you want. We can treat it like a stop sign. The barn is a stop sign. We can stop there. So, a lot of times, Dave, and just so public knows, there are responses that are required for law enforcement sometimes. So, being stealth is important in some response. Let's say it's a burglary in progress. We don't want to alarm, the offenders that we're coming. So, but we want to get through that intersection, clean. If we get hit, then of course, if we can't do anything about the situation, we don't get there ourselves safely. So a lot of times you will see law enforcement who they probably won't throw on a siren. They might throw on their reds and blues to get through that intersection, shut them off so they can be stealth with their response. Like I said, there are a lot of different reasons why they would do it. Like I said, could be a burglary in progress. It could be an officer who just requires that you be stealth for their own certain reasons. Maybe they might be doing some surveillance on a narcotics location, and they don't want to spook them. So, hey, don't come in here hot with sirens and lights and sirens on, because you're going to spook them. But I need your assistance, and I need you to get here quietly. So a lot of times in situations like that, they're domestics that are like that. They're hostage situations that might require you to respond in a stealth manner, but quickly. So it just depends, Dave. But that's in most cases, they're just trying to get through that intersection and they got to follow policy too, though. So let's not forget about that. At the end of the day, if they get struck going through a intersection when they're basically disobeying a traffic control device, they should have their lights activated. If they can articulate why they didn't use a siren, understood. But if if they get struck and get into a crash, disobeying a traffic control device without using their emergency lights, then they, of course, they could be in violation of that policy. Of course, get them in trouble. So you got to be able to articulate these things. But I would, in most cases, at least in my 35-year career, those are the times that I did do it because it required a stealth response or approach, and that's how I kind of maneuvered and navigated through it.
Lou?
Yeah, so I mean, we won't talk too much about it, but I would say it's not because they're going to lunch. And I know I've heard that before from some of my friends and family. They just need to get somewhere. They're in a hurry. There's a lot of liability that goes on driving a police car, as Chief Byrd said. There's policy. You better have a good reason. This, you're affecting traffic. You're putting people at risk by going through the traffic lights. So we have policy, but it could be because the call that they were heading to was resolved. Maybe they don't need backup anymore. They got through. They're starting to head somewhere. It could be that they're just starting to head to a call that their hearing is turning a little bad and they're trying to get closer and closer, but they're not really involved yet. They're kind of waiting. Could be a pursuit on the other end of town. They're just trying to get over there, but they're not really in the call. So they turn them on, get through the light, keep moving, but it's justified because it's all there's an answer to it. But I would say, again, there's oversight. We have policies, and in most departments, I don't know about the horses and buggies, Kirk's driving down there, but most departments have in-car video. So, it's activated when the lights go on. Officers know that. So clearly, if you're throwing your lights on, well, you just created a new record. You better not be going to lunch because that's a record that's going to be able to be proven. So I get it. People are I know for sure you're sitting there, causing everybody to kind of scramble. They're doing the right thing. They're getting out of the way. Then you got the lights all screwed up. And so people then see the lights go back off and they're like, hey, but it is not lunch. I can assure you there are all these reasons that the officers are doing it. And there's a lot of liability involved and a lot of oversight.
Well, I'll give you the example. I did a ride along as part of the Citizens Police Academy. We got a call. The officer got a call that there was an accident on the east side of Northbrook, okay, at Shermer and Willow. We were on the west side of Northbrook. Well, and Northbrook's maybe 5-6 miles wide, okay? We're not talking Chicago, but, there's maybe 15 stop signs or 6 stop lights, and we were coming up to the school. It was 3:00 and the school just was letting out. So this guy flipped the lights. He said, I'm on the way, flipped the light, turns around, he does a 180, heads back, flooring it. We go through the light at Dundee and Sanders. We get down maybe a half a mile. Another officer's on the scene, flips the light off, and he stopped his his engagement to the accident because another officer was able to call in and say, I'll be able to handle it. It was on the east side of Northbrook. So that also happens, right? That, you get the call, you jump on it, but another officer's closer, and then you just disengage and turn the light off. So, but he was we were hauling ass, buddy. I'm like, these police cars got to get up and go. So here, I'll throw it to AJ. How does the association combat that type of misconception that the cops are just trying to get through the stoplight and not have to wait at the stoplight?
I can honestly say I have not received that question.
Okay.
But I'm one of those who was curious to know, as a civilian, I would say, not a member of law enforcement, I've seen similar things and I've had the similar questions in my head. It's like, what? I'm trying to go too, So it's good for me to know this stuff. And now that I've learned from our podcast and from talking to our chiefs, the reasons behind this and what the scenarios can be, I can now spread the word and tell others who aren't in the law enforcement profession, who might be like, why did this happen? And so on and so forth. So this is just prime example here of why this podcast is important and why taking fan questions through email is even more important, so we can answer these different questions that everyone may have.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry, Dave, go.
I was just going to say, the way the call would go, and you hear it all the time, especially here in DeKalb, we hear it, is the officer arrives, he has an open door, right? So it's probably a burglary in progress. He's going to get on the radio and say, hey, send me another unit. Hey, stealth, come in. Because if they come in hot, if they're burglaries, all of a sudden it turns into some type of altercation. When if you have the element of surprise, you might be able to take the offenders into custody without, you know, any other use of force needed. You have numbers now. And at the end of the day, you know, that's how it would sound, Dave, just so to give you an idea is that, hey, I have an open door, send me other units, please, stealth response, no lights or siren, you know, when they get here. So that's why you might see, depending on how close they are, offenders could hear that, and then they might beat feet. And now you got a foot pursuit when you could have contained them inside the structure, and you could have taken them into custody at that time. So a lot of reasons for it, like I said, but that's kind of how how the call probably would come out.